Hey guys. Okay, so if you are one of my followers that loves when I rant, when I talk a lot of shit, or my story times in general, this is a video for you. Hi, hello. I know it's been a while. Pretty sure you can see my dirty clothes and shit back there. I don't have the time to fix it. I mean, I do. I just don't want to fix it. Anyway, today we're going to be talking about something that I've been wanting to talk about for so long, and that is the absolute shitty living situation that I was living in prior to now when I live in Los Angeles. I was living in Miami, Florida, and I lived in this shithole of an apartment for 1 year of my life, and I'm going to talk to you about it today. I'm going to tell you everything that happened from the moment we moved in to the moment we moved out. I told you guys that I wanted to make this video. I was just basically waiting to see what I got back from my security deposit. The way that this company works, I was sure that they were gonna try to scam me into like paying them. Not only just taking my whole security deposit, but like actually paying them more. But now that they returned what's left of my security deposit, I'm gonna go in on them because this place, where do I even start? First off, I have been debating like back and forth on whether or not I would say the name of the company, and I am not gonna say the name, and I know a lot of you might get upset. I am gonna tell you, however, this place was on 142nd and Kendall, so it was in the hammocks. If you live in Miami, you may know where I'm talking about. I mean, there's a lot of apartment buildings there, but I mean, you have seen the outside of my apartment in certain videos, so if you wanna be CIA, like go ahead, you can try to find it. But I'm not gonna say the name of the place simply because I am at a point in my life where although I have plenty of tea to spill, it doesn't help me in any way. It doesn't make me feel good. I don't want to like say the name blatantly and then have thousands of people going on their Yelp page and leaving negative reviews, because that always happens when I mention a business. And although yes, this business sucks, it doesn't benefit anyone like looking to move there, let's say, to have a bunch of negative reviews from people who never even lived there. So, you know, although everything in this video is true, I am not lying about anything. I'm just not going to be saying the name of the place, but it was on 142nd and Kendall. You can probably find it. That's all I'm saying. Okay, so let's go into why I moved there. When I first moved to Miami, I actually lived in a really nice apartment. It was only like $300 extra, like a month, than this shitty apartment that I'm gonna tell you about. But it was so much nicer. It was a brand new building. It was actually called Signature at Kendall. I don't mind saying the name. It was a really, really like nice living situation. The community was really nice. It was just a good time. Now, the only problem with that apartment was that it was 3 stories, and I got pregnant when I lived there, like pretty quickly. I was like, okay, I'm not gonna be climbing 3 stories with a baby, or not even with a baby, like just really pregnant. I didn't want to do it, so I actually ended up breaking my lease, which is the first time that I've ever done that in my life, and it sucks. You have to pay like a bunch of money to get out of a lease, but whatever, that was all good. I moved to my mom's house for multiple reasons. Number one, me and Nasim have been wanting to move to California forever, and so we thought that it would be better if we saved money at my mom's house and, you know, gave her a little bit of money for rent, but nothing close to what we were paying at Signature at Kendall. So we moved to my mom's house and I had the baby. It was really good to be at my mom's house because she helped me a lot, but eventually me and Nasim, you know, we felt like we needed our own space. It's not that I don't like living with my mom, it's just, I mean, we're a married couple, we had just had a baby, we're like, okay, it's time for us to go, but we want to find a place that's cheaper than the last place we lived at because we want to save like the maximum amount of money, and plus we're only going to be living in this new place for a year, so it's not that big of a deal wherever we go. I don't know how the fuck I found this place. I genuinely, I don't remember, but I did. I found this lovely place on 142nd and Kendall, and it was the first place that we saw. And that is a very me thing. It's also a very Nasim thing. We're very impulsive people. I learned a lot from this situation though, because when I was looking for my house in LA, we did a lot more research. We turned down a lot more places because we were like, we are not gonna go through that again. Like, it's not worth not doing your research when it comes to a place you're gonna fucking live, because this story is gonna show you just how bad it could get. But anyway, we basically just saw it and said, yes, we want this place. We gave a deposit. It was actually $1,500 a month. And I wanted to say the price of it because, I mean, I feel like I overpaid for what I got. Like, the living situation was shit. It was a 2-bedroom apartment. It had 1 bathroom. It was tiny. The second bedroom, that's why I put air quotes, it was so small. It was literally like the size of my closet right now. It was just really, really, it was not worth the money. Let's just say that. But anyway, we thought, okay, $1,500, totally fine. We'll be able to save money and it'll be good for us because then we'll get to LA quicker. And then we moved in. So I don't know how soon it happened from moving in, but we didn't even go like a month of living there without something shitty happening. Like, something happened right away, and that was that our bathroom roof started leaking. So we didn't have neighbors like on the top story. We didn't know this at the time, but we didn't have anyone living there above us because we were on the first floor for like the first month. And then someone moved in, and as soon as they started showering, the roof started leaking from like where the shower was all the way to where the sink was, and it cracked. Like you saw like a crack, almost like if the crack was already there but they like plastered over it or something, and it just started leaking so fast and so much water that I freaked the fuck out. Now this was happening after hours, so like after the leasing office closed, so we have an emergency maintenance number to call in situations like this. I know that I'm a bit dramatic, but I genuinely did think that the fucking bathroom on top was gonna come down on us like in Grace and Frankie. Like I literally thought I was gonna die. Okay, maybe I didn't think I was gonna die. That's okay. Why are you like this, Jessie? But it was concerning. Like I bathed Noah in that bathtub and the whole roof is like, you felt it. You would touch the roof and it was all soft. You don't even have to punch through it. If you pushed hard enough, the whole roof would just like come off in your hands. Like it's that soft. So whatever, I freaked out and I was like, I'm calling the emergency maintenance line. I think this qualifies as an emergency. And when I called, that phone number didn't exist. Actually, let me be real. I don't know if the number didn't exist or if the line was busy. It could have been either one of those. I'm pretty sure the number didn't exist, like it gave an error when I called. But for sure, I know that I couldn't get through to the emergency maintenance line. Like I tried so many times. And then I called the office and I did leave kind of like a bitchy voicemail, which I never do. I'm not a person that likes confrontation. Most of you know that about me. Like I'm very, you know, I want problems to go away and I don't want to be a part of them. But I felt like, what the fuck? Like I have to bathe my son tonight and I fucking can't because the roof is leaking and it's super soft and I'm scared it's gonna come down on us. At least have your emergency maintenance line work. Like, thank you so much. Anyway, we went up to our new neighbors and we told them like, hey, can you not shower until we figure this out? Because this is a little bit scary. And they were super nice about it. They were like, yeah, for sure, we got you. So it wasn't until the next day that basically I got a call back. I was always treated poorly by one specific woman in the office. She's one of those people that are just so condescending. The other people in the office were super, super nice. But this one bitch, like she was a fucking bitch. She just called me back and was like, oh, hey, we're gonna send someone from maintenance out to your apartment today. As if it was like no big deal. Didn't even address the fact that the emergency maintenance number wasn't working. Like she just was like, okay, we'll send someone. Like if I was telling her that a doorknob fell off. My stepdad knows a lot, like he's a handyman. So he knows a lot about certain things and he's like, hey, you know, if your roof was leaking, they should cut a hole in it and like dry that out so that no mold gets in the walls or anything, just to be safe. Because that could happen. If you do have a lot of leaks, which it's apparent to me that they do have a lot of leaks because the crack opened up so quickly and you could see where they plastered over the last crack that leaked. And so when you have so many leaks in one area, like mold can definitely develop. But of course, you'll learn this about maintenance. They didn't like to fix shit that good. I basically brought it up to the lady and was like, hey, so are they gonna like dry out, you know, the roof and make sure that there's no mold in there? And she was basically just like, no, they're not. And I was like, all right, I mean, I guess that's that. Like I really suck at confrontation. So I was just like, okay, I mean, I guess it's fine. They ended up plastering the roof again, which when we left, like was already cracked again. You could just see that it's just such a shitty way of fixing something, but whatever, that's what they did. They plastered the leak shut and then they went upstairs and did fix the leak from like the other person's shower. So after that, you know, I would say it would only be about like 3 weeks that we would ever go without something breaking. It was always an issue. Something was always broken. And the worst part about it is that maintenance would take a long time to get to you. It would be 3 days. Sometimes they forgot to put the request in. You have to call like a week later and be like, hi, remember me? The number one thing that kept coming off, like kept breaking, was the fucking toilet. We had one bathroom, mind you. Like sometimes me and Asim had to like shit at the same time. It was a disaster. But anyway, the toilet kept coming off of the floor. Like the little, I don't know, some sort of adhesive that keeps it on the floor would keep like disintegrating and then it would just slide off, so that every time you sat on the toilet, it just would slide, and it was so annoying. And that toilet, this is not a joke, broke at least 4 times while we were living there, which was just so annoying. The toilet seat itself came off, and then the last time that they fixed the toilet before we moved out, they plastered the bottom. I don't know what they used, but anyway, they went into the sink to clean off whatever like device they were putting the glue with, and that in turn like left the plaster or glue or whatever in our sink, and it dried in the drain, and so water couldn't drain down because they washed their tools with the glue or plaster or whatever in our fucking sink. Bro, I don't know. By that point, I was so pissed off, I didn't even care. Our closets would break a lot because when you put like sliding doors on carpet, they usually always get caught on the carpet. So I never was able to use our closets as like a normal functioning thing. My closet door would always be open. I never closed it unless like Noah was asleep or something, and I probably only closed it like 2 to 3 times the whole time that I was living there. Like I barely used the closet doors, but they would always break. Another thing that would break a lot was kitchen cabinets. There was one specific kitchen cabinet in like under the sink that would always come off the latch and fall on my fucking foot, and I would get so pissed because I was already pissed that I lived there. Aesthetically, the place was not nice to begin with, and just the fact that all this shit was happening, anytime something would happen, I would get furious. Like it just, it made me so upset. Anyway, so we had that cabinet that would always break and fall on my toes, and then we had this like kitchen drawer that would drop everything to the lower drawer, which would just make a big fucking mess and whatever. It completely broke down one day, like fell apart, and then they came in and literally in front of us glued it with glue. Our oven broke. I know I showed that in my vegan lasagna video, but like the handle broke off repeatedly until we had to tell them like, hey, can you do something better? Because this is broken 7 times. One time the whole handle fell off and then the glass of the oven fell off. Like it was just a mess. So before putting the glass back on and screwing it on, they didn't clean the glass. And so there was permanent like shit and dirt inside of my oven that looked like I never cleaned my oven. It was very annoying. So yeah, the oven broke. What else broke? Oh, my washer dryer broke. My washer broke quite often. Like it would just make like a really loud noise. They had to replace the spinner a few times. But my dryer, bitch, literally a spark of electricity flew from my dryer across to my refrigerator. It was like this bright light. Thankfully, my son was not by there because he used to like to hang out like in that area of the kitchen. And luckily he was not in that area when this happened. And me and Nassim were sitting on the couch so we could see it perfectly. But it was like this super bright light of like the fuse blowing from the dryer into our kitchen. It was really bizarre. What else? Oh, the light above the oven, like even if you change the light bulb repeatedly, it would be like a few days before it would go out. Like it just didn't really work, so you couldn't really see what you were cooking. And then I want to get to one of the really big things. I have so many other things. This is gonna be quite a long video and I'm sorry, but I have a lot of shit to talk about. However, this is one of the worst things that happened in this apartment building. This was so dangerous and so negligent on their part that it makes me fucking angry to think about. Oh, this makes me want to say their name. I want to say their name so bad. You guys find them, comment them below. So the first 6 months that we lived there, we were sick. Like every morning we woke up with a sore throat. We had a lot of phlegm. Like, you know, when you spit out phlegm, sorry, this is kind of gross, but when you spit out phlegm and you're sick and it's like really yellow, that was us for 6 months straight. And Noah was not even a year old at this time. It was really bad. And I didn't know what it was. My suspicion was that the air conditioning duct was like really dusty. Like that's what I thought. I was like, it has to be a shitty air conditioning duct that's like really old, because this building is really old. I don't know exactly when it was built, but you can tell that they just remodeled some pieces, like made the kitchens white and put like shitty vinyl floors that looked like wood, you know, just so they can fit like the aesthetic of what everyone likes now, but it was actually really shitty. So I figured these are old air conditioning ducts. It has to be the air conditioning that's making us feel this way. However, once like 5-6 months had passed, I just kept thinking to myself, this feels like there's mold in the apartment. And then my mind jumped to that first month that we lived there when the leak happened in my bathroom. I thought, oh my gosh, there has to be mold in the walls. There has to be. That's why we're getting sick. It's just, it feels like there's mold. I mean, I've never experienced mold before, but being sick for that long, like I would feel so sick, and then during the day I'd get better, and then once we go to sleep again, like I would wake up shitty. So I just felt like this seems like there's mold somewhere. So I went in the bathroom and I looked in the corner of the shower, and to my amazement, I saw mold. I saw like this green little line, and I'm just like, what the how did I not realize that? I freaked out and I went to the office and basically was like, listen, there's mold in my house and you guys need to take care of it. So they took it pretty seriously, like a little bit seriously. And we're like, okay, well, we'll go look at it today. Like that's as seriously as this place would take it. Never like, oh, I'll be right there. Like, no, they're just like, okay, we'll see it today, rather than in a week when we normally send maintenance to you. So the bitch manager came over herself, which was just a pleasure to have her. And she looked at the mold and was like, oh, that's like regular shower mold. So yeah. And I was like, okay, well, we're getting sick all the time, so I don't know what to tell you. And she basically denied until later that day, my stepdad came over. Like I said, he's a handyman, whatever. And he said, you know what? Let me look at your air conditioning coil. And when he looked at the air conditioning coil, I will put a picture in right now, it had fucking mold on it. It was so dirty. It was so disgusting. We would change our air filters every single month. And from what my stepdad has told me, that can't even get that dirty in that amount of time. So the way that it basically works is that they have to write when they last serviced the air conditioner. So like next to where the air conditioner is, there's a little sticker and it shows when they serviced it. And they serviced it right before we moved in, which basically means that they had someone come in, look at it, see that the coil was old and shitty and needed to be changed, and then just sign off and be like, yep, I checked it. And by the second month already that we were living there, we were sick. And let me tell you, in case you guys are like, oh, it's not that serious. Okay, this place does not replace anything, okay? Like I said, they're about quick fixes, but when they saw this air conditioner, the first thing they told me was, we're gonna replace your whole air conditioner. A brand new air conditioning unit they were gonna give me because of how shitty this one was that they signed off on right before we moved in. I was so upset by this. I felt so stupid for even moving into this fucking place, but mostly I just felt dumb. I just felt dumb, like how did I not fucking realize that something was wrong early on? It took months of me and Noah and Nasim feeling horrible when we woke up. This could have done real damage to us. Like I felt like shit every day. That's how bad this whole air conditioning situation was. Oh my gosh, it gets me really, really worked up. Okay, what else? Oh my God, the parking. Oh Lord. The parking situation was so horrendous. The parking spaces were this tiny and there were thousands of cars. This is a huge community with over 1,000 units and there was just no space to park. And my car, I'm gonna insert footage right now, like the sides of my car have been so banged up by people who literally didn't give a fuck. Like I'm not trying to be a bitch at all. I am not rich by any means. You guys already fucking know this. And I have a fucking Hyundai Tucson, okay? It ain't all that. But there were a lot of cars in the community that were really like run down older cars. And if you have ever gotten a new car, you know not to park next to those cars because those people don't give a fuck about nothing. Like genuinely, if you have a car that maybe you've just had for a long time or whatever, you're more likely to not give a fuck, and that was this place. Everyone hit my car on both sides and I never got it fixed while I lived there because I was just like, what's the fucking point? Then we started noticing that the neighbors that lived on top of us were fucking nuts. They were nice when the whole leaking thing happened, but then after we realized like, holy fuck, these people are out of their minds. These were the type of people that I went to high school with, basically. They're just like so problematic. They don't know how to use their words, and so they just scream at each other and are like, fuck you. And that was all the time that this happened. Like this happened so often. There was one night that it got really, really bad and they were throwing shit at each other. It was clear they had a very abusive relationship that I didn't know what to do about. Do I call the cops and just say they're screaming at each other a lot? Like it's like, what do I do in that situation? I didn't know, but all I knew is that they fucking screamed like crazy all the time and my son could hear everything. It would be when he was napping. I mean, it was just horrendous. Oh, that's another thing. I didn't even write this one down. Sorry, I know I'm jumping all over the place, but they would turn our water off all the fucking time and notify us about half the time. And when they did notify us, it was always after it was already off. Like the water was just turned off. You went to go take a shower that morning. Oops, sorry bitch, not today. They just were not good at communication in general. Another thing that happened was that one time we put our trash, so basically it's a valet trash service, which I don't really like, but you have this little bin and you can fill that up, and then every night except Fridays and Saturdays, I think, they come and they take the trash. So one day we got a note on our door that said, your trash is too heavy. Like, make it lighter, bitch. And I looked at that sticker and I looked back and I seemed like, our trash was too heavy? What the fuck? We just put normal trash shit in there. Like they take it from our bin and then walk it to the car that's right there. And it's not like we had excessively heavy trash. I was like, what the fuck? Now our trash is too heavy. Now our trash is too heavy. You don't understand. I started getting progressively more upset as time went on. The next thing happened when we had been living there for a little while. And we just saw a note on our door, and that note said, hey guys, this is the office. Just want to let you know someone was held at gunpoint last night. Awesome. Yeah, someone was held at gunpoint in our tennis court, so love that. That was great. They didn't die, but they just wanted to let us know that basically their security system sucks because their gate didn't have a code. And after that incident happened, they didn't fix, like, okay, this is kind of like a long-winded situation, but we had two gates. We had a main entrance that residents would go in, and then we had another guest entrance that residents and guests could go in with. But the guest entrance never had a code. For the first like 6 months that I was living there, it was just open all the time, but then they closed it but all you had to do was drive up to it and it would open. Like there was just no, you didn't need any security or anything like that. And after this whole situation that someone was held at gunpoint, like literally a random person came into our community, went up to someone and tried to rob them. Like that was the description that we got. After that happened, they still didn't fix the whole code thing. Like there was just no code ever. They were just like, yeah, someone came in with a gun last night, but we're not gonna fix that whole thing that provides security to you guys, so fuck off. They just didn't give a fuck about us, about anything. That person is totally fine, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that, but the people that were held at gunpoint are fine, thank God. But anyway, this last thing was the last thing I'm gonna talk about in this video, and also it just got me so upset. The same amount of upset as the moldy air conditioning made me, like just like how the fuck dare you, bitch. Like that's how I felt. I felt like these people want to get sued. They want to catch a fucking case. So like I said, the closet doors were breaking constantly, but I always kept mine open. Like I said, only used it like 3 times the whole time I was living there, and it hadn't happened any time around when this incident happened. So one day Noah was in his playpen, which if you watch my older videos, you'll see that my bed was there and his playpen was right there. We still sleep with Noah in our room. We're not ready to let him go. Anyway, that's a personal choice. Anyway, so one day he was in his playpen and I literally walked into my closet. I did not brush the closet door. I did not touch the closet door. I swear to baby Jesus, I didn't touch it. It must have been like the air of me walking through my closet, seriously. And all of a sudden, my closet door, which is pretty heavy, like the foldable ones, they're pretty fucking heavy, fell onto Noah's crib. And I'm not exaggerating, was this close to my son's head. It fell on its own, and I forgot to mention, a week before this incident happened, maintenance came in to fix those closet doors. So they had just fixed it a week ago, and then a week later, it falls from the literal air of me walking by onto my son's crib, almost hits his head. Tell me you wouldn't fucking be pissed. I was so frustrated. They have sent me multiple times like this automatic exit survey on, hey, why did you leave this place? Like how can I even put on a little scale of 0 to 10 how shitty this whole experience was? Like, is there a -20? Is there a -5,000? I emailed them because even though I didn't want them to fix it, like I didn't want maintenance to put the closet back in. That was the opposite of what I wanted. I needed them to know how dangerous their stupidity is, how dangerous their fucking laziness is. Like it's dangerous. If that had hit my son's head, I would have sued them 100%. I know that suing is a pain in the fucking ass, but I would have done it to get my point across, to let them know that the shit you're doing is dangerous to people's lives. My son is over a year old. His little head is still soft. Like if that heavy ass door had fallen on his head, first of all, I swear to God, I would have beat someone's ass. I would have fucking... I would beat someone's ass. I swear, I would have marched to the office. First of all, I don't even want to think of what Nassim would have done. That motherfucker's crazy. Thank God it didn't hit him, but it was so close. Woo, it's getting me mad all over again, guys. I'm sorry. I know that I'm being so like passionate and ranty in this video, but how would you feel if this shit happened to you, especially after all the other shit happened? I get it, shit happens, but not this type of shit. You don't neglect your duties as a fucking management company. I understand there's over 1,000 units, but that doesn't excuse you from making sure that the tenants that live in your shitty ass apartments don't get sick from mold, or you know, don't have doors falling on their sons. Like it's just fucking think, like just do the basic shit, just make it a safe place to live, and that's basically all I needed. That's why I didn't want to go and spend a bunch of money or get a fancy place, because I didn't need that. I just needed a place to live, but I needed a safe place to live. I didn't just need a roof over my head, I needed a safe roof under my head, and I didn't get that. And the fact that I paid your guys' asses $1,500 every fucking month was a joke. It was an absolute joke, and it was a shitty place to live. And honestly, I do hope that some people can find out where I lived, because I don't want to blatantly say it, because I don't want to, I just, you know, I don't need the drama. And like I said, I don't want a bunch of people just going to Yelp and being like, ah, they have mold in their air conditioning. You know what I mean? Like that was my experience living there. But like, I hope low-key that some people find it, so that if you're in the Miami area and you're even thinking about moving into this place on 142nd and Kendall, again, I'm gonna say it, don't. Like there are no exceptions. Actually, I have a subscriber. Oh my gosh, she's probably watching this. I have a subscriber that I saw in the leasing office when I was going there for something. I think I was trying to figure out something for the parking situation, and she was there giving her deposit to move in. And she's like, oh my God, I see your YouTube channel. And now I'm just thinking about her. I hope you're doing well, girl. She has a baby as well, and I just hope they're doing good and that they don't have moldy ass air conditioning. I don't know if I just moved into the worst fucking unit ever, but this place sucks regardless, and I truly hope nobody ever moves there. I hope they go out of business, and I hope the building gets demolished. Anyway, I know this video was a little bit annoying. I mean, I like to rant, but I don't like to be so fucking negative. But like I said, I went through a lot of shit and I held my tongue for a long time until I was able to make this video and until I was able to at least get a voice. Like, that's why I used to do my story times. It's like, if I had to go through that shit, the least that I'm gonna do is talk about it. So for those of you that missed Ranting Jessie, Storytime Jessie, she was here for a short time and now she's gotta go. Anyway, that was quite the journey, but I thank you for staying to the end if you did stay to the end. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you next time. Bye!